Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Um, just give me. Oh, no, good morning, everyone. The loop. Just give me a minute to compose my compost, and then we got some sad news, but then like some happy news. It's all a balance, you know. Dad giveth and taketh, and sometimes looks like he's taketh, but he secretly giveth. So, as long as you add "ith" to a word, I think um, there is. Hi. Oh, no, calm down. How's it going? I need like 2 more minutes or something. But this song is really good. So once this song is over, I will be composted. I promise. But enjoy this song. So this is Calm It Down by Sisyphus. And Sisyphus, as we recall, is a guy who pushed a rock up a hill, and then a metaphor for life was that it would always just like go back down to the bottom, and he had to keep pushing it again. And so it, via Albert Camus, falls into the existential canon of the plight of our lives. But I don't know if that has anything to do with the song. It's just a Sisyphusian. It's a Sisyphusian concept. And
all right. When you feel like you just can't stop jumping and bumping, when you feel like you just can't stop sending telegrams after telegrams, and when you feel like throwing all your books in the air, you need to catch it, just catch it. When you feel like you just can't stop twisting and turning and burning shit, you need to calm it down. Calm it down. You need to calm it down. You need to calm it down. You need to calm it down. Calm it down. Calm it down. Calm it down. You need to calm it down. 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 You need to calm it down. You need to calm it down. Calm it down. Calm it down. Calm it down. And when you feel like you just can't stop chasing your dreams, impossible dreams, impossible dreams. And when you feel like driving your car into a telephone pole, just stop it. You got it. And when you feel like fucking shit up, let's fuck shit up. Let's fuck shit up. Let's fuck shit up. See what happens. And when you feel, how do you feel? Like you just can't stop talking shit about each other all the time, all the time. You need to calm it down. Calm it down. Calm it down. Calm it down. You need to calm it down. Calm it down. You need to calm it down. You need to calm it down. 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 You need to calm it down. 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 You need to calm it down. You need to calm it down. When your lips don't pop, yeah, calm it down. When your grips don't got, okay, calm it down. When your chirps don't tweak, God, calm it down. When your burps don't beat, alright, calm it down. When your hips don't dip, yeah, calm it down. And your kicks don't hit, calm it down. When your sips don't sip, okay, calm it down. When your life don't live, just calm it down. When your mix don't match, calm it down. When your rips don't patch, take it easy. When your keys don't lock, just relax. When your beats don't knock, okay, yeah. When your dog don't bite, yo, calm it down. When your bull don't fight, just take it easy. When your time stands still, just calm it down. Can you tell me how you feel? Just I'm not standing upright. is the fury, mine is the game. Shall I account for peace? Shall I resist it my way? Mine is the glory, mine is the praise. Now that I feel the shame, I've got every reason to persuade. Mine is the problem, mine is the pain.
So, I did promise myself I wouldn't cry on the internet. But well, don't watch yourself cry. That's stupid. This ship requires. Man, I'd be terrible at eulogies. We are down one disciple. And it was like unexpected. So, there's one fewer chairman at the board. And though I am a dad, I'm a dad-fearing guy. He's just scary when he gets in a temper. And I am assured that when I'm done with this experiment, when I am, acutely, adorably crucified, I will be in some way reunited. But I'm, a pragmatist. I'm a theological pragmatist, and so I don't really believe that either. So I think like death really affords us the chance to vibrantly feel life. And that we are all, I don't know. I miss you, Chairman. But maybe this can lead into something. It definitely can. It's like, you gotta move. You gotta keep moving on. The phone lines, I think, are open. don't know if anyone's watching. If anyone's watching and they would like to call and give an example of if you knew, if another disciple knows Chairman and would like to give a memory of how. Oh, it's stupid cat. Whatever. But you can call, or you can call to confess, or it's Suicide Prevention Month, so you can call to prevent a suicide, prevent your suicide. I am not currently in an Amber Alert, so I don't need any help with my my plight. You know, I do. The first transgendered person that I was made aware of through the canon of literature and mythology is Tiresias. And Tiresias was, I don't know. I should have looked this up. Anyways, bottom line is Tiresias was like maybe a hermaphrodite? I don't know. Anyways, Zeus and Hera were in a fight, and somehow Hera was Zeus's tempestuous, but he was tempestuous. No, that's sexist to say. Anyways, Tiresias needed to settle a bet between Zeus and Hera, and the bet was who enjoyed sex more. And Tiresias did his research, and his research came back that women enjoyed it immensely more than men. So then Zeus blinded him, and then he wandered around blind for the rest of his life. But like maybe he still had fun. I don't know. I think like a lot of fascination with pornography is just a fascination with like the thing that you're not, that receives it. And I guess guys are more interested in the thing that they don't have. What's my point? My point is that having spent some time over the past, hasn't even been that long, like 16 hours, sobbing, I am very much, and just feeling gripped and overwhelmed and my body wrenched in a way that I can't control it for extended periods of time. I just sort of, want to draw a correlation that perhaps I do know a little bit in terms of like what the female pleasure is in terms of multiple orgasms, or however that works, because of the way in which I've been crying. And Freud, was it Freud or Lacan? I don't know. Death has been, or the orgasms have been called le petit mort, the little death. And so I'm just saying, like, women, I get it. You guys win. You guys win, and like, congratulations, But it does come with perils. It does come with perils. This light is killing me. Is that the light? Or is that the light? Let's soften this shit up. I think that's better. So, where did I put it? So, I have not done a sermon in a little while, but it has been, I have been sort of like rocked by a book, which is good because, you got, not the Bible, by the way. I'm not rocked. I'm not currently rocked by the Bible, but I found, let's hold it up. Okay, so everyone should try to get this book. I consider it if you are truly disciplinary, okay, you should pick this book up. The Origin of Consciousness in the Breakdown of the Bicameral Mind by Julian James. And one of the the reasons why I haven't been able to sermon lately is because I have been trying earnestly to come up with a summary of this book in a way that could be meaningful to my viewership, and then also compel you to read it, because I think, like, I don't my book report should not be considered holistic or a substitute for actual reading. But I do want to, and I guess I do want to try to explain it now. Damn it. I want to try. I'm going to do my best. And it does connect nicely to the loss that I am dealing with. Okay. And you can call and interrupt me at any time. So Julian James, okay, just do it. Just hammer through this. You can explain this. I want to explain this to you in a way that is succinct and makes sense. Julian James's first question is like, what the hell? Like, what is consciousness? What is this thing inside our head that talks to us and that we can talk back to? And sometimes there's lots of voices, and sometimes there's lots of voices and they put you in a hospital. He's a psychologist by training, and one of the things he looked at was sort of the history of people who then were not classified as schizophrenic but might now be, just people who heard voices differently in their heads. And then from there he sort of was like, did a almost like anthropological analysis of how we thought 50,000 years ago, 100,000 years ago, 10,000 years ago, and then the period of time in which he thinks is most pertinent, which is roughly the 3rd to 1st century before BI, before me. And so what he comes up with that's fascinating is that in greater human organization, for whatever reason, that we got out of the trees and we stood up and we threw spears and we, ate berries, and for some reason our heads started getting bigger, right? Like, I think humans are like one of the only animals that need help in childbirth. And whatever circumstances of security and nutrition and interpersonal group dynamics, somehow that sort of got our brains on overdrive in terms of their growth. And then our heads were too big to get out of the female's hips, and then we needed to create a structure whereby we helped and supported the individual who was pregnant, because without it, we're going to cease to be the dominant player on this planet, just all everyday striving to make the earth great again. And so in this period where we organized ourselves in this way, we also quickly developed our language, so that, not just tiger, but like tiger over there at a distance, and and what to do about it. So we very quickly expanded from, what you would see as a limited language structure in other apes, where information is being passed, but it's also sort of very emotional. We started to create a living dictionary, and we started to create time and space, for something that wasn't directly around us. So we're using, you're sitting by the Neolithic campfire and explaining, where you're sure we're going to be able to get the food tomorrow. So you create this space with your language, and other people are able to use their minds to hear what you're saying and almost share a time, share a theoretical space with you. And this theoretical space, no, he's not sure how. There's no explanation. There's no smoking gun that hadn't been invented yet. But that language created this almost infinite or seemingly infinite expansion of how we're able to think. And the bicameral mind, as he explains it, is a bicameral means two rooms. So he sees that we do all of our thinking with the left temporal lobe, but the right temporal lobe is the exact same, but we don't do the same thinking in it. So he's trying to come up with this way to explain that how we operated as human beings as we were increasingly organized and given tasks, go plow that field. And that is your task set in a very early language. And you're out there plowing the field or picking for berries, but then you pick the berries. Maybe berries are better because plowing. You pick the berries, and then you don't just eat them because you know that your task was to collect enough berries for the community and then bring them back to the community. So he saw voices appearing in our heads as auditory hallucinations that allowed us to complete more complex tasks. He also saw it as a way that if we are faced with a novel or stressful situation, that if it was more complex than, something being thrown at you and you automatically, unconsciously respond and dodge, but if it's something that requires a few steps, that you would have a voice in your head that would tell you what to do, and you would do it. He surmises that the original voices, the original auditory hallucinations in our heads, were not how we perceive them, which is, self-criticism and doubt and confidence and bluster and well, I don't know, that's what's going on in my head right now. I'm sure there's lots of other emotional states and ways to be. But as we continued to organize and we had nouns for things, it was not very soon after that people got names. And now we have people with names and with voices that are distinct in and of themselves. And, I'm doing a good job explaining this. And we have this novel environment inside our heads that is completely beyond the time and space and rules with which the world has. And then we, cared about those people, and those people would invariably die. And he thinks that their voices continued in our heads, and that is the explanation or justification for the very complex burial rites that have existed for a really long time. The giving them, lots of things and food and sacrifice, and rather than just the voice of your buddy, the the organization of just recently no longer hunter-gatherer people was probably very much organized around the alpha, as in around the leader of the community. And when the leader of the community died, that was more significant. So you would create a shrine or a temple for them. And it was a short step until the voice in your head became the voice of that leader who's no longer with you, but is still a driving force for the reason why you go to pick berries and the reason why you're trying to invent a plow, because you think it's really ridiculous that this agricultural revolution is taking so fucking long. And then that's the origin of gods. We made the gods up in our head. It's awesome. We did. I don't know. You pick your fucking denomination. This is the Church of Dirty Jesus' canon now. We made the gods up in our heads, and then they became incredibly powerful and complex. And then, I don't know, maybe this is part 1 of 7. I don't know. And then at some point, like the gods crumbled inside of our heads, and we acquired this notion of an analogous me, Dirty Jesus, this guy, like that we can think of ourselves, and we can think of other people, and we can think of ourselves as other people. We, in this infinite time space inside of our heads, we were able to accomplish so much because these gods were like the whip to our activity. It helped us stop being animals, and it helped us start, well, not stop being animals, but like stop always being stimulus response machines and start becoming planners. Wedding planners, city planners, day planners. And so it's just like weird that the God that we choose to pay attention to right now in the West is, we pray to Dad. He is God. Yeah, then it gets even more complicated because we created a heaven. We created a distanced, within this temporal spatial awesomeness that we have in our heads, we've even concocted a heaven. We've even concocted divinities. It's awesome. It's awesome. But all of our brilliance is from a novel way that we, at some point a long time ago, learned to deal with significant loss. And so death is like everything is so important. Everything is awesome. When you're part of a team, us humans only got cool as a team. Now, the downside to that is a lot of our teamwork was killing other people, people we didn't like or understand. Oh yeah, okay, and that's where he thinks this cohesive adherence to the God voice inside of our heads, to our conduct, started to break down was as people who didn't know one another or have the same language began to enmesh. So Julian Jaynes looks a lot at trade routes in, the 4,000 to 3,000 BI, be me, as the place where it was recognized that there was a plurality of voices inside people's heads, and if you're not just going to kill the thing that you don't understand but trade with it, you then have to come to some sort of acceptance or understanding of difference and of the variety in life. And the second you do that, maybe the God voice, like, I don't know, like he looks at the alien, like he looks at lots of like literature that, and there's parts of the Bible that are very God, you know, thumping down on them, as opposed to, you know, a conscious human wrestling with the concept of a God, which is very, very, very different. So somehow from, I don't know, or maybe the voice in our head is absolutely no different than all that long time ago, but and maybe, you know, raccoons and porpoises and snakes all have these time space thought environments, and like we're just these elitist motherfuckers who think we have dominion over the animal kingdom because somebody decided to take a very abstract book a little too literally, a lot too literally. Maybe I lost my thought. Where did it go? Like, there's this awesome, it's like, I don't know, I envision it like this space, and I've had some great conversations with people where I've explained it probably better than I'm explaining it right now, but like, whatever. I can't change my explanation. Like, I've had great conversations with people, and it's like I can almost like I'm trying to visualize this awesome space where I'm, you know, exhaling over guck, and it's making words, lots of words, very consecutively explaining something, and I put it out there, and then the person responds, and like we both understand what's going on. It's like, it's so amazing. So to anyone who's thinking of making a mockery of Suicide Prevention Month and committing suicide, I would just say you should probably call the hotline. Oh yeah, I have a call. Oh, I have a voicemail that I could play. Whatever. It's just like, listen, boys, I really appreciate how much you love Dirty Jesus. And I could be swayed in any direction. I'm just, the loving voicemails are appreciated. They just might not be reciprocated unless, like, who knows? It's just like, it's nice. It is nice though. It is nice though to be loved. But we created the gods. The gods are us. The gods are just another version of us, extrapolated, entombed in a book, and improperly assumed to have greater power than they do. We have the power. The power is in us. Power is in you to find a robe and stream on YouTube things that you think that are important about, like, the spirit world to you. It's like it's everyone's responsibility. Chairman would be so unhappy with the quality of the sermon. He was so good. So, and then there's like more sad. There's like more sad news. Let's see if I can do a little behind the scenes here. We are losing the crucible from which Oh, that's an awesome shot. What the hell is that? Oh, that thing. Holy crap. That's like an MC Escher picture. Might be a little bit dark. I got some lights on. I'll just like quickly show you. So this awesome, how does this even work? So here is, okay, so I'll just like show you. So here's where the magic happens. Studio lights, camera looking at camera. Don't become artificially intelligent. Don't just realize one another. But like, I'll just quickly show you how awesome this barn has been. And I'm just not good at money, so I can't keep it. But this barn has been with me. Hello, cross. Aw, pretty little cross. This barn has been with me for a really long time, and it's got to go now to people who will use it for probably better activities than I use it for. But it's like got a huge ceiling. It's like super awesome. That's probably really disorienting. I should do this more often. Oh, can we get a camera of the camera? Let's try it. Do it. Whoa. What is that? That's so cool. Okay, whatever. It's a barn. It's a big barn, and it's finally almost empty. I'm like the last thing that has to be removed from it. Hi. How are you? So that was the behind the scenes of that which is no longer. So you know, where will with one fewer disciple and with not a barn, you might say with great worry, Dirty Jesus, is this the end of your is this the end of your time with us? I hope not. I see no reason why I can't find another barn or another analogous space that can accomplish the same, that can accomplish the goals. The goals are to help people be hopeful, more hopeful than sad and pessimistic. And if my show can help people feel that way, then what everyone does in their lives will be better, because the files are inside the computer, right? The gods that we fear are only the gods inside of our heads. And I mentioned existentialism earlier. There is unwarranted fear and trembling that comes from acknowledging that fact that there is no higher power. The power that we have is the highest that there is, and it's not consistently that powerful, and so we feel weakened by that. But we don't need to. We can just we can be hopeful. We can be hopeful that the gods inside of our heads can also be hopeful and help us and work with us and not judge us and not hate us. No, never, don't hate yourself. If you hate yourself, call the hotline. 47 minutes? Holy crap. I'm so sorry, guys. I really know how to talk. No, I don't know how to talk. Like 90% of it was silence. I'm like, man, I'm disinclined to play too much more Sisyphus, because I haven't tried Sisyphus. This is my first time with Sisyphus, so I'm unclear as to whether or not, sometimes YouTube just monetizes the content. Sometimes they block it in 193 countries, and I'm pretty sure that's most of the countries. So like maybe the you know Nicaragua could still get it. I think this is the song I wanted to play. Um, I don't know. So maybe I'll just like I'll end it. I'll end it on that note. Oh shit. Oh, I'm sorry. Hey. Oh, is nothing working now? Hmm. Oh, whatever. This might be a disaster. So someone did try to call in, but it didn't work. I don't know what's going on here. Um, As usual, I have callers. It didn't come through. I don't know what happened. It says I'm online. Ugh, God damn it. All right. I'm gonna end. I'm gonna end. What else do I gotta say? Uh, so discipleship is down. So we need everyone who considers themselves a disciple to find other, just get like one more disciple. Just be like, hey, are you aware of the new narcissistic religious phenomenon that is sweeping the internet? And people will be like, no. And you'll be like, well, check it out. And, subscribe, which I don't care about, or try to be more hopeful in your conduct. So just that would be the goal. Is just like try to find people who might not be hopeful and try to give them a little bit of hope. And Dirty Jesus can be the beacon where the hope sits. But I am just the bat signal. Like I am not, heal yourselves. I am but an ironically earnest vessel for hopefulness in a time when America is being made great again, which as we all know is terrifying. So whatever. You are awesome, Chairman. Thank you so much. And like I know it's so hard because there's so many people on the planet, but we all hurt. We all have times where this hurt grips us, and I want us to try to bottle it a little bit more, just a little bit more than we do, because there are so many people who are hurting on this planet who probably don't have to, just so we can have Amazon Prime or whatever Western elite blah blah blah. When you have this feeling, this most alive feeling, which is hurt from death, it's such an alive feeling. Don't you want people to experience this as little as possible. And if you do, then try to do something today that mitigates this feeling. If someone is feeling it, if someone is lost, if someone is sad, if someone is hurt, it's only through community that we can help one another, and it's only through death that we can realize that we have the power and the strength and the beauty of the community of the living that we do have. So let's not fight any more wars over any dumb ideas of things that we concocted in our heads, or we didn't concoct in our heads, somebody else concocted, and then they shoved it down your throats, and then you think it's the thing that's inside your head, but it's not. So let's not fight any wars because anybody says I'm this nation and I'm this nation, because that's just more shit shoved down your throat. Because we're all gonna have to feel this pain regularly throughout our lives. But if we can see other people's pain and try to mitigate it, then I think it validates and justifies the necessary pain that we have to feel. When we lose a being and have to pet it dead and bury it, and do all those significant things that we've done for hundreds of thousands of years that make us interesting, because we are interesting, but we're also assholes. But we're only assholes when we allow other people to suffer, when we could possibly do a little thing to help others. And if we can do little things, then we can do big things. So take those hurts that you have inside of you and try to use them as strengths to help other people's hurts. And we can build this awesome tower. This tower of babbling, crying, burbling, whatever. But it will be a tower, and we will have done it together. And God will not be upset that we have built the tower to ascend to the heavens, because there are no heavens, and because we are God, we are the gods. And so that's why I'm super excited by this Origin of Consciousness book that I recommend that everyone get and read, by Julian Jaynes. Jaynes, Jaynes. Is because it's a very, very hopeful and empowering lesson. So there are good lessons in tears. And seriously, don't commit suicide on Suicide Prevention Month. Don't make a mockery of it. Call the hotline, 1-866-10-6663. Call anytime. We can discuss it on air. We can discuss it off air. I really don't care. Just don't kill yourself.
I don't care if you been to LA, I don't care if you been to Tibet. I'll be right when you step. I put them peas in your plate, I put that drill in your drink, I put that shit in your face. I put my hand on your shoe, you put your hand on my back, I put your hand on my side. I feel more comfortable now, I feel more comfortable now, I feel more comfortable now. I don't care if you been to Tibet, I don't care if you been to LA, I don't care if you been to Detroit. I'll be right when you stand, 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 I'll be right when you stand. I don't care if you been to LA, I don't care if you been to Detroit, I don't care if you been to Tibet. I'll be right when you step. I'll be that I-N-O-J, I'll be that I-N-O-J. I don't get no fuck where you at, I don't get no fuck, I don't get no shit, I don't get no shit. I feel more comfortable now. I feel more comfortable now. I feel more comfortable now.
feel more comfortable now. I 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 feel more comfortable now. Yeah.
So engage the world with an open heart and an open hand, and be hopeful. And don't let nobody tell you that you can't cry on the internet, because it was good for the Leave Britney Alone guy. That like fucking guy, girl, whatever the hell that was, got him a career, him, her. Oh, this transgender thing is driving me crazy. All right. Thanks everyone so much for this phase of Dirty Jesus and Disciple Chairman Mao. And I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.